So, guys, here we are, MMA UK News. Stoomboy, as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So, talking about Grapplefest 12. Grapplefest 12 is going to be this Saturday, the 21st of May. Going to be at the usual place, Fusion Nightclub, Fleet Street in Liverpool. Now, we talked about the atmosphere. We keep talking about the atmosphere at Grapplefest, and Rosa will tell you herself. I mean, the atmosphere is absolutely electric in that Fusion Nightclub. So, everybody's buzzing. It's very, very loud. I mean, when the grapplers come down them stairs onto the mat, the adrenaline's pumping, the crowd's getting them pumped up, and it makes for some absolute fantastic matchups. And Rosa's been in a couple of wars herself, so we're going to hear about a lot about obviously what Rosa's going to bring this Saturday. Now, ticket availability, you can get tickets directly from the fighters. If they have any availability left, that is. And if not, head over to Grapple Fest. I believe they are sold out, but obviously just double check Grapple Fest Facebook page. Anybody that can't make the event on the evening, head over to Fight TV. There are 3 different payment options: a monthly, an annual, or a pay-per-view option. I keep saying as well, the best option to go for is probably the annual option, because it's only $49.99, which is about £35, £38. I don't know what it is in euros. So,
Me either.
yeah, but pounds about £35, £38, which is an absolute bargain considering you're probably going to get 3 or 4 Grapplefest events over that 12-month period. So the individual pay-per-view options about $14.99. So yeah, $49.99 is definitely a bargain for what you're going to get. Now, my next guest is going to be on the show that night again, obviously coming up, Grapple Fest veteran now. So Rosa Walsh. Rosa's going to be representing Daisy Fresh on the evening. So she's going to be up against Sula Mae-Lowenthal. So hopefully I said that correctly. But yeah, Rosa, as I said, Rosa's been on before. Had that fight of the night with Nadine Tavares, which was an absolutely awesome match. Then got the victory against Marina Mavru at Grapple Fest 11, I believe. So yeah, brilliant to see. Rosa's one of the top female grapplers coming out of Ireland at the moment, and she's been on her travels as well. So we're going to hear a lot about that. So, Rosa, listen, always a pleasure talking to you. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, no, listen, it's always a pleasure. Let me ask, Christmas lights in the background? Just not take them down yet?
No.
No, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, good. I haven't been home in so long. I'm always traveling. They're still there.
So let's talk about the travelling. Obviously, you're away for the last kind of 5 weeks or so. So obviously, a little bit of a tour of America. Obviously, ended up with Daisy Fresh. So
yeah.
I mean, how did everything go? Because I know me and you spoke before, and you were excited about heading over there. So was it as good as you were hoping it would be?
I don't know. I didn't really have any expectations. Like, I flew out after Grapple Kings.
Yes.
The day after Grapple Kings, and then I was supposed to be there for 2 weeks, and I ended up coming back 5 weeks later. I just kept extending my trip, but no, I had no expectations. I was going over to compete in pans, and I lost the gold medalist in pans, so that was a bit of a disaster in the gi. But look, gi is never my strong suit. And then I just went to Daisy Fresh, went back to New York, did all the big gyms in New York, but Daisy Fresh was just an amazing experience. It was just fantastic.
Yeah. We saw some videos as well, obviously doing a lot of wrestling, and obviously your takedowns looked absolutely brilliant. I'd say opponent after opponent just kept coming, and
and they were all so big.
Yeah, we noticed that as well.
All male, all like 80, 90 kilos.
But I mean, you held your own. I mean, you were taking them down. You were absolutely holding your own against whoever came out next.
And there's a big connection with the high school wrestling in Mount Vernon. So like these are all like legit wrestlers.
Yes. We had as well, obviously, over that past few weeks that obviously they've become now a wrestling school.
Yeah.
So are they been, is it certified, or they've been announced that they're now part of this wrestling program? So
yeah, it's amazing. And they're moving into a new gym soon, I think. So like it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah. I heard about the new gym. I was talking to Jared Schaefer's mum, and she was talking about the last Grapple Fest, and what she was talking about was potentially looking at moving to a new gym. Obviously, I think
Mm,
they were looking for premises. They hadn't found anything
hmm.
yet, so but they're still going to have obviously Daisy Fresh, the original.
Yeah,
They're still going
I
to
think
have
yeah.
that. So
It'd be very hard to leave that go. It's pretty iconic at this stage.
yes, yes, and then obviously not just Daisy Fresh. You trained at. We obviously saw you at Marcelo's as well. So
Yeah, and
custom
essential as
training.
well.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, but it was amazing because like it was just coming from being an independent fighter or whatever, not really having a team or team no team as we're known.
yes,
um it was just like I got so much help from Daisy Fresh, from Marcelo's, from Essential. Like people literally were going out of their way to help us prepare for trials, for Fion's Worlds camp, for her ADCC camp, for me going to Grapplefest. It was just like it really blew me away that people were taking an interest in my training because I hadn't had that in so
yeah,
long. But it was such a fantastic trip overall.
yeah. And we saw some videos of you and Fion together, like a comedy act, where it was just every time a video came up and I was watching the video, and I'm thinking, this is hilarious. This is what life should be like, just going out and
And like
enjoying.
we didn't plan this. We only met over there. We didn't travel together.
But that's what life should be like, just to go out, enjoying yourself, having fun.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people forget. I mean, especially in grappling, because as you know, a lot of people take grappling very, very seriously, which don't get me wrong, we need to take it serious, but there's also that fun element as well. We need to
Of
have that fun.
course.
We need to go out and enjoy each other, enjoy each other's company and things like that. So obviously you and Fion just seem to be an absolute comedy act for the
Yeah.
whole time you were together. In America,
And we
I
got
think
matching tattoos as well.
I saw that. So, but definitely a great double act. A great double act. So,
Yeah.
and then you went over to the trials, obviously up against Julia. Julia, I think, ended up
Yeah.
winning the trials as well. So,
She
which
did. Yeah.
which was your
Brilliant for her.
first matchup.
I know.
So, but
But
how was that experience?
it was brilliant, and I loved like making the weight was hard. Like it
Yeah,
was I weighed in at like 59.5 I think that morning, but it was I had to cut a lot of water. But like I really enjoyed the match. It was just a case of my strategy was off, and with the trials it's all about strategy. And like
yeah,
look, even now I was talking to her afterwards, and like that's the thing with females in jiu-jitsu is that like I was so happy for her.
yeah,
And like it's lovely to see that. And then like there's the group of girls that were all like that I stayed with in Orlando. They all competed in the same division, like so. I just think it was such a lovely thing. It's like, yeah, okay, I lost to Julia. I gave her a good scrap. It was a brilliant fight, and I really,
yeah,
really enjoyed it. And she's a legit black belt as well.
yeah,
And then I had all the girls that we kind of linked up with in Orlando then. So we were all, it was just such a lovely, positive environment. Like, and then seeing Sam win then at the 66 division, that was just amazing.
yeah. Yeah, nah, definitely. It's a great experience as well, the trials. So,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
again, anybody I spoke to that went over for the trials, obviously from Scotland, England, and so on, they
Mhm.
all said the same thing. It was a fantastic event, really, really good experience. And it gives a lot of people, because obviously the trials, this is probably the first trials that a lot of people have done. So it gives them that experience. Now they know what to expect. So when the next ones
Yeah.
come around, then they're a little bit more prepared. Not that they weren't prepared, but they know what to expect the next time it happens.
Definitely. Strategy is the biggest thing. Like there's girls who medaled at the trials that I've beaten, but they were just had a better strategy than me.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
look, that's what the first one's out. First one's out of the way. Wasn't my year,
yeah,
but be back for the next one.
definitely. And then Grapple Fest 12 then.
Yes.
So how did you get the call up for Grapple Fest 12?
I just keep annoying Chris. his head is wrecked. Yeah, but he was like Sula now she's a bit heavier than me, just a small bit heavier. So he was like, look, a bit of a weight difference. If you want the match, I was like, yeah, I was going to be back in Europe anyway, so I knew that, and I was like, I love Grapplefest, and Liverpool is so brilliant. So I was like, look, I'll take it. So yeah, it'll be fun. And Heath is going to corner me as well, so that's brilliant.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
That's the thing as well. I mean, obviously speaking to you previously, I mean, I remember you were talking about Grapple Kings, saying that you were saying to Adrian, just give me a guy, give me anybody. so yeah, having a kind of smaller, heavier opponent means absolutely nothing to you because you'll go in there against anybody.
Yeah.
regardless of weight or regardless of gender or anything. Just give me an opponent. So
yeah. Sure, like that's the way to be. Like, if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. And like, I was speaking to Fiona about it. It's like the only way I'll lose is if I get injured, or I probably won't even tap then. That's terrible. It's terrible. No, but I just because I pride myself on being like not ever saying no to a fight, because like everything is a learning experience. Like,
yeah. And then the big one as well, obviously a big one in Ireland, Grapple Queens, should I say.
oh
So
yeah,
are you coming back for that? Are you going to be here for that?
hopefully he hasn't got in touch, but I can assume that he'll ask me. It's terrible. Yeah, hopefully.
He should do it. I mean, obviously it's going to be when me and you spoke the last time, we talked about it being a historic event, obviously for female jiu-jitsu or female grappling, and it's going to be awesome to see some of the top grapplers across like Northern Ireland, the UK, and stuff like that as well. So so it's going to be great, and obviously they can't leave you out because you've been on every other Grapple Kings. So this is so they definitely. I would hope they wouldn't leave you out. So Adrian, if you're watching, Rosa's waiting on that message, so get the message over. So Rosa's going to be busy as well. I mean, obviously heading over to Daisy Fresh, she's going to be very, very busy. So make sure you get yourself on that schedule, Adrian. So and then what about you then? So obviously the big goal for you when we spoke the last time, obviously the Pan Ams and the trials and so on. Obviously Grapplefest 12 again will be another focus. But what would you like to see yourself doing going forward? Now that you're obviously part of the Daisy Fresh team, you're going to be kind of mixing up a little bit. What would you like to see yourself doing going forward?
Oh God, it's a very deep question. Well, I'm going back to America on Monday after Grapplefest for Worlds. So I'll be there for the bones of a month. And then, so like I'm going to do Worlds, maybe do the next Grapple Fest. I just want to kind of I want to consistently train in one place. Like that was the big thing now with the trials, is that like I kind of messed up my return, like how I came home. Like I came back to Ireland the day before and I cut weight all in the one day. So it was a bit all over the place. So I think I just need to situate myself in one place for a couple of months and see how it goes from there. I'd love to do Mount Vernon. Even like I'm talking to like Kendall Roosing now, who'll be friendly with me, and now that's a potential place to train. New York. So like the world will always start at the moment. So I'm just taking it day by day.
Yes. You mentioned as well the gi. Obviously, we got the picture that came up on Instagram. You put it up, and everybody was going wild about this. But pajama bitch for life. Obviously, you and the gi, and then obviously a lot of people they were all commenting on it. Obviously, Fionn, Hannah Garrett, and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, are we going to see some gi from you going forward, or are you predominantly going to be trying no gi or going for the no gi?
I think it's very important for me that I do both. Like, it's terrible. I'm such a cynic about this, but I just don't think that jiu-jitsu is primarily no-gi. I think it has to be both. So, like, I'm perfectly content with the fact that I'm not as good in no-gi or in the gi at all. And that's okay. I'll keep working on that. And I just think there's so much more to the gi that I don't know. And it's like, I'm not going to give up just because I'm not as good. So I think it'll be maybe like a 60-40 split, because I can't, like... I am much better in no-gi, and I can't deny that.
And then, final thing for you then. So obviously you, again, over the last few weeks, obviously you've been able to train with some fantastic people. But
I know.
Anybody you want to shout out to? So any friends, family members, teammates, anything like that?
Sponsors, Improv Grappling, they're the best things ever. Like, I swear to God, they've been just so brilliant, and they've kept me... I had strength conditioning the whole way through the 5 weeks. Who else? Oh God, I don't know. Fionn, just shout her out. Hannah Garrett, everybody, whoever. So Looking forward to being back though to Grapplefest now. So I'm flying tomorrow. So yeah, that's it.
Nice. Listen, we're looking forward to seeing you. As always, we absolutely love it. I mean, you're definitely a crowd favourite.
I
From the
hope
moment
so.
you stepped on the first one or the first one that you did, right up
Yeah.
to obviously Grapplefest 12. So you're definitely one that people want to see. Especially females as well. I mean, when I talk to anybody, and we were talking to like Jamie Middleton, obviously the Scottish
Yeah.
girl that's going to be on the show again.
Yeah.
And she was talking about you and saying obviously how you were watching you was absolutely fantastic, and I'm hearing a lot of that where people are seeing you on these bigger shows and they're looking up to you, and a lot of people are saying, well, we want to be doing
Why?
what Rosa's doing. Well, especially because of the traveling and stuff like that over the last 5
Yeah.
weeks, people are seeing it, and people get jealous whenever they see people. They're like, oh, I wish I was doing that, and you're like, well,
Yeah.
you can do that. So but yeah, you're definitely one that people look up to and people definitely look forward to seeing. So we're buzzing to see you back on the show on Saturday,
Yeah, I
Rosa.
can't wait. Can't
All right.
wait.
So there we go, guys. We're going to have Rosa Walsh representing Daisy Fresh, so Pedigo submission fighting,
Yeah.
going to be up against Sula Mae-Lowenthal. Now, it's going to be this Saturday, 21st of May, Grapple Fest 12. Tickets, head over to Grapple Fest. Anybody that can't get a ticket, then go to Fight TV and make sure you do get the pay-per-view for this. Grapple Fest is always an awesome event, as Rosa will tell you. So, yeah. We're looking forward to
Great
Saturday
fun.
again. Yes. But Rosa, listen, absolute pleasure as always.
Thank you
chatting
so
to you.
much.
All right, but listen, enjoy Saturday. I won't be there. Unfortunately, I've got a wedding to go to. But I'll be. I've already said I've got the pay-per-view ready to go. So
Amazing.
during the service in the church, I'll be sitting watching. So I'm lucky. I don't need to do anything for the wedding, so I can just sit in the back, just watching.
Nice.
I
like it. I'd be the same.
I'll have a crowd of people around me, and the minister or priest or whatever, I'll be saying, like, what's everybody doing up there? It's all right. We're watching Grapple Fest. So let's hope the minister's not a Grapple Fest fan as well. Otherwise, it could be a horrible wedding. So, but listen, Rosa, absolute pleasure. Thank you as always, and enjoy Saturday night. Okay.
Thank you. Lovely to see you. Bye.
You too. Take care.